Muscle memory refers to the idea that after a layoff from training, regaining lost muscle, for example, is a lot easier than gaining it in the first place.
Have you ever taken a break from your workout routine and thought, will I ever get back to where I was? The answer is yes, and it's all thanks to muscle memory. But how exactly does muscle memory work? Is it true that you can bounce back faster after a period of rest or injury? Let's watch why you regain strength, size, and skills faster, the power of muscle memory. But before starting, make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel so you never miss out on videos like this. Muscle memory. The basics. Muscle memory at its core is the ability of our body to retain the skills and strength gained through previous training, even after a period of disuse. Whether it's lifting weights, running, playing a musical instrument, or engaging in any physical activity, the brain and muscles remember how to execute these tasks once you've learned them. The most remarkable thing about muscle memory is that even after taking time off, whether due to an injury, illness, or simply a break from training, you can return to these activities faster than if you had never practiced them in the first place. But it's not just a magical trick that happens in the body. Muscle memory is supported by both brain and muscle adaptations, which collectively contribute to the ability to recover quickly. To better understand this, let's take a closer look at the two main contributors, the brain's motor cortex and cerebellum, as well as the muscle fibers themselves. The brain's role in muscle memory. The brain plays a pivotal role in muscle memory, particularly through two key regions, the motor cortex and the cerebellum. These regions work together to facilitate coordination and skill retention. Let's break down the contribution of each. The motor cortex, the command center for movement. The motor cortex is a region of the brain responsible for initiating voluntary movements. When you decide to perform any motor task, be it lifting a weight or throwing a ball, the motor cortex sends signals through the spinal cord to activate the appropriate muscles. The motor cortex essentially acts as the brain's command center for movement. However, the motor cortex doesn't work in isolation. The cerebellum, fine-tuning and coordination. Enter the cerebellum, often called the little brain due to its unique structure. While the motor cortex sends the initial movement signals, the cerebellum refines and coordinates those signals to ensure smooth, accurate movements. This is especially crucial for complex movements such as playing a musical instrument or performing a resistance training exercise like the squat or deadlift. The cerebellum doesn't simply know how to fine-tune every movement, it learns how to do so through repetition. As you practice a skill over and over, the cerebellum becomes increasingly adept at coordinating the muscle contractions involved. This is the basis of what we refer to as muscle memory, the brain's ability to automate and refine movement patterns after repeated practice. In fact, the cerebellum allows some tasks to become so automatic that you can perform them without consciously thinking about each movement. For instance, walking once learned becomes a task you can do without having to focus on every step. This type of unconscious coordination is also what allows you to regain skill quickly after a break. Your brain doesn't have to relearn the movements from scratch. It simply reawakens the previously established neural pathways. The role of repetition in developing muscle memory. Repetition is the cornerstone of muscle memory. When you perform an action repeatedly, whether it's lifting weights or playing a sport, your brain and muscles develop specific patterns of activity. Over time, your body becomes more efficient at performing that action. This is why athletes or seasoned weightlifters can pick up their routines again faster than beginners. They've already gone through the repetition needed to create muscle memory. When it comes to strength and size, the muscles themselves adapt as well. The more you train, the better your muscles become at handling stress and adapting to increased workloads. But what happens when you take a break and your strength and size diminish? Does muscle memory still play a role? The answer is yes. Muscle adaptations. How muscles retain their memory. Muscles adapt to training in several ways. One of the key factors in muscle memory is the change in the number of nuclei in muscle fibers. Skeletal muscle fibers are multinucleated, meaning they contain multiple nuclei to support the high level of protein synthesis required during muscle growth. When you train and experience muscle growth, your muscle fibers increase in size and critically, they accumulate more nuclei. A multinucleated advantage. This multinucleated structure is beneficial because muscle fibers need to rapidly produce proteins to maintain and repair themselves, especially after intense training sessions. More nuclei allow for more efficient protein synthesis, which is essential for building muscle size and strength. Interestingly, when you stop training, your muscles will shrink, atrophy, but the additional nuclei that were created during your training phase remain within the muscle fibers. This is one of the key reasons why you can regain muscle strength and size faster after a period of disuse. Even though you may lose muscle mass, the nuclei remain primed for rapid protein synthesis once training resumes. In a sense, the muscle remembers how to grow, making it easier for you to bounce back once you start lifting again. Muscle atrophy and reawakening muscle memory. When you stop training, your muscles do atrophy and you lose some of the strength and size gains you previously made. However, As mentioned, the nuclei within your muscle fibers stay intact even when the muscles shrink. This means that once you start exercising again, your muscles are able to grow back at a faster rate compared to when you first started. Essentially, the hard work you put in during your initial training phase set the stage for future muscle growth. This concept is supported by research, which shows that the increased number of nuclei in muscle fibers helps with muscle regrowth after periods of disuse. So even if it takes a few weeks or months for your muscles to get back to their original size and strength, the process will be much faster than the first time around. The psychological aspect, confidence and skill recall. Muscle memory isn't only about the physical adaptations in the body. There's also a psychological component that plays a significant role. For example, when you return to a physical activity you haven't done in a while, the muscle memory not only helps you regain physical strength and size, but it also boosts your confidence. Take the example of riding a bike. When you return to cycling after a break, your confidence increases quickly because you remember how to balance, pedal, and steer. These movements feel familiar even if you haven't practiced them in years. Similarly, when you return to weightlifting or a sport after time off, muscle memory allows you to trust your body to perform at a high level, even if you've lost some strength or technique over the break. This mental readiness can accelerate the process of regaining strength and skill as you approach your training with confidence and familiarity. The role of the nervous system in muscle memory. Beyond the muscle fibers themselves, your nervous system plays an important role in muscle memory. As you train, your nervous system becomes better at recruiting the appropriate motor units and muscle fibers necessary for different movements. The more efficiently your nervous system communicates with your muscles, the faster and more effectively you can perform an action. When you take a break from training, your nervous system doesn't forget how to recruit those motor units. Instead, it remembers how to activate them quickly and effectively when you resume training. This is why athletes who return to their sport after a hiatus often find that their skills come back relatively quickly. The nervous system is able to reawaken the pathways that were built during previous training, contributing to faster recovery of strength and skill. Muscle memory is real and it works. Muscle memory is a real and powerful phenomenon that involves complex interactions between the brain, nervous system, and muscles. It explains why we can regain strength, size, and skills more quickly after a break from training. This ability to bounce back can be attributed to neural adaptations, muscle fiber changes, including the retention of nuclei, and the coordination of movements through repetition. However, muscle memory isn't just about the body's ability to adapt quickly, it also involves the mind. The confidence and familiarity that come with muscle memory allow individuals to regain their abilities faster, both mentally and physically. So what do you think? Could these insights about muscle memory change the way you approach training or recovery? Drop your thoughts below and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more empowering health tips and in-depth discussions.